And welcome back to our Maine Brew Bus virtual brewery tours. My name is Don Littlefield. I am your guide today on our virtual brewery tours. You'll be joined shortly by our friend Michael LaCharite. Michael is a co-founder of Brewery Extrava, which is a brewery in Portland, Maine that opened in July of last year. And they have been producing definitely very well made and very different than many of the beers you'll find around New England, because they're not making just New England IPAs. They're making some very, very delicate and nuanced beers. And here he is. It's Michael.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Technology works.
The technology works, and I can hear you. You can hear me, right?
Absolutely. And much better, Don.
Beautiful.
See you as well.
I know. Soon enough. That'll be okay. Thanks for the special delivery today. So I've shared with the people before that I traveled to Ireland last week as a result of the mandates that came down. I am on a mandatory 14-day quarantine. I'm not even able to go out and do to-go or curbside pickup. So I had a special delivery from Michael himself, who dropped some beer down the front lobby of my building. So what I'll be enjoying in my glass is brand new. Michael, tell us about what I'm going to enjoy here.
Whoa, look at that.
Look at that.
Indeed, brand new. We just released that beer on Friday, and we're very excited. IPA. In fact, I'll open mine too. I've got a beautiful brand new can of Era IPA. Let me get that going into my glass. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, Don?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh, wait till you smell it. I can smell it from here, Don.
Well, let's quickly go through the steps of tasting a beer. So first going to look at it. I'm going to look at the color. I'm going to look at the clarity. Smell it. Oh, yeah.
Right. Beautiful hop nose.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I'm excited. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Oh, yeah. Right. So.
Right there, yeah. Bright, for sure.
Word Sarah translates into hop within the mosaic. If you look at the label, it's this beautiful mosaic sort of print, and this is the first in our rotating beer series. So the whole plan here is to start to put out a whole series of IPAs, different types of flavors, hops, and just continue this. And there's actually a number. You can see number 1 on the front of the can.
Right.
Right, everybody see that, right?
Right. Number 1.
Number 1 right
Number 1 with a bullet right there.
Right? So, this particular one is all about the Amarillo and the Mosaic hops. Those are the two primary hops. They're not the bittering hop, but they're the primary hop through the flavoring, the late addition hops, the whirlpool additions, as well as all the dry hops. Mosaic, and you can really pick that out if you know your hops. You can smell this beer, and you can get that. What I get in this is some fruitiness. I've got a lot of citrus notes, specifically grapefruit, a tropical sort of aroma. Also, all of the aromas I just talked about also translate into the flavors.
Right. And so, for those that are watching that are not familiar with you and your background and the path that brought you to Brewery Extrava, would you mind trying to condense a few decades of work into a couple of minutes?
Well, I started homebrewing a few months before we opened the brewery, and I'm only on my so.
I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying it. It's not true.
Okay. Well, yes, I do have a long history in Maine beer. I consider myself a veteran brewer. Been around for a long time. I'm a fourth generation home brewer. I started here back in the late 80s. Immediately just started winning awards and things for the beer that I was brewing. So I decided to open a business, and I opened a brewery in 1994 in Portland, right across where Allagash currently is.
1994 in Portland. Yes, a fun and different time indeed. And what was the name of that brewery, and what was the brewery license number, if you know it?
So that was Casco Bay Brewing Company. It was brewery number 13.
13, lucky 13.
My flagship beer was Katahdin Red. And at the time, Katahdin Red was one of the most popular beers in the state, along with Geary's Pale Ale.
I can vouch for that. I turned 21 in 91, so I kind of was able to have a wide assortment of local beers available to me. And Katahdin Red was definitely a strong favorite, and some of the other ones that came out of your shop were just tremendous. And it's really fun for me to get to know you now, because I just knew you through your art form in the bottle in the past. So
yeah, so I don't know if you want me to run down through everything, but
just tick them off a little bit.
Oh, heaven's sakes! Later on, I opened the brewing company in Lewiston as the head brewmaster, and formulated a beer that a lot of people drink around here called Stowaway IPA.
Yep.
After that, I went on to work in the industry as a brewery consultant, where I was helping a lot of breweries, providing equipment and services, helping people open and get started. Did that for quite a while. Then I opened a brew pub up in Brunswick called again, kind of back to some consulting things. And that's when I got a phone call out of the blue from Joe Doherty, my current business, who said he would like to open a brewery. And here we are.
Here we are. You didn't know Joe before you got that phone call, right? You guys kind of hadn't met before.
No, I didn't know him. No, but he saw an ad I had for some equipment out on a website and was inquiring about that. So, yeah, I think we've been open 8 months. We opened in July. We opened here in the middle of July.
Yeah. And so we'll talk a little, obviously we're going to talk a lot about the brewery itself, but I think that, your background has given a really unique perspective to our tour groups that have come in there. So we have, I describe you as, you're so passionate about the craft that you're an educator at heart. You want to explain to people about beer, but you're also a historian about it. So what you're saying is always factually accurate. You're not just making it up. Your joke earlier is that what you're saying is that you have built this repertoire of knowledge, and that you're able to explain it very eloquently to our guests. And that's something I've always admired in what you do. And, we're not going to have an awful lot of time today to do that. But what is it in you that allows you to be that sort of educator that is historically accurate about everything as well?
Well, I think part of it is because I've just been doing it so long. I've been in this industry for so long, and I have such a knowledge about beer and the history of beer, and intimately about beer styles, because I'm a judge, and so I have this whole stylistic thing going. And then if I go way back to before first brewery, I was teaching people how to homebrew.
Right.
I taught over 1,000 people how to make beer back in the day. I used to give these classes all the time, even up at Common Ground, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the people that you bring in on the tours. My goal is that they leave knowing more about beer than when they walked in the door. So it's important just to start with the basic ingredients. When I ask the question to the client, what are the 4 ingredients in beer? Most people of the people that work in here are not actually know what the 4 ingredients in beer are.
Right.
The ingredients are and how they affect the flavor of the beer. I just think it's important for everybody to know who's drinking a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's more to beer than just getting drunk, for sure. There's the flavor, there's the nuance, there's the style and expression. There's so much that goes into it. And I'm just trying to fix my mic because my technical... yeah, it's not working. He's telling me to stop fiddling with it. Trying to make it so it's not rubbing against my collar, but that's not helping. So, and plus I get this really shiny duct tape here, too. Yeah. So let's. So you're. You've got this great background, but what you're doing at Brewery Extrava, what's the focus of what you're doing there?
Well, so all of the years I was brewing, I'm a perfectionist. I always try to go and make better beer. And I took a trip to Belgium because I was interested in that kind of beer, and I just came back with a different perspective about beer and how beautiful it can really be. And I came back from that trip and really just started hammering down on developing recipes and formulations and techniques and processes to make Belgian-style ale. And that's what we specialize here at Brewery Extrava is Belgian-style beers, and really, to me, that's sort of in 2 major categories. We have a family of saison. That could be light, dark, low ABV, high ABV, all over the place. And then we also do the 4 Abbey-style beers.
Okay.
And
those are, for those who are not familiar?
Those who don't know, we have the single, the double, the triple, and the quad. Those are the 4 beers that the monks make at the monasteries over in Belgium. And it's the only 4 beers they make. And they're delightful beers. They've been around for hundreds of years. And they're very close to my heart because when I go, those are the beers that I seek out and I drink. And I've been to many of these monasteries, and I've drank the beers and bought the beers right at the monasteries. And I learned a lot. I learned from the brewers that I met there and the processes that I learned. And I developed these beers here at Brewery Extrava. Right here in Portland, Maine, you can get the Abbey beers just like they're being made at the monasteries in Belgium.
Unbelievable. And those are not, some breweries will do one or another, but they're not often doing all 4 of those. A couple of quick questions for people that might be concerned about saying this right. Which is more correct, double, dubel, or double?
Double.
Double is the most correct there? Okay. What about is it triple, tripel?
It looks like it's tripel when you spell it. But it's actually triple.
Triple. Yeah. Got it. Double, triple.
It's spelled like tripel.
Yeah, right. I know people get tripped up on that, so we're here to help. If you've got questions or comments for our conversation with Michael LaCharite of Brewery Extrava, you can put them in the comments section down the bottom left of your screen. Either questions or comments. You maybe want to share some information about the beers that you've had from Brewery Extrava, or you have a question for Michael. Go ahead and put them in the comments. I've got somebody who's watching out for those, and we'll be asking those over the course of the talk that we've got here. So, again, my name is Don Littlefield from the Maine Brew Bus, and this is a virtual brewery tour at Brewery Extrava in Portland, Maine. So, Michael, let's talk about what's happened over the past, few days in the past couple of weeks. When did Brewery Extrava first become aware that significant issues are going to come their way?
Well, I think all the brewers kind of found out at the same time. It's a coincidence. My girlfriend and I were over down in St. Martin when hit the fan. So we came back to things that were very different when we had left a couple of weeks earlier. Awesome vacation before all shit hit the fan. Oh, can I?
You can say that. Yeah, it's just us. It's just us.
So luckily I didn't get stuck down there, although we thought about that. That would have really had being stuck down for a few months. But anyway.
Well, I don't think Krista would go for that. She's a nurse, so she needed to get back to take care of people, I'm sure.
So pretty much about the time I came back, things were starting to change very rapidly and day to day. My business partner, Joe, has really been the front line of that. He runs the tasting room and manages the people and such. And so he's the one that's really had to implement new processes and cleaning things and all of that. While I'm in the back of the house just making the beer. We had a canning run last Thursday. So coming back from vacation, I brewed 2 batches of beer right away. Those went into tanks, fermented, and we canned all that stuff out.
Right into the fire.
So,
yeah.
You know, it's been a moving target. It's changing day to day. But Joe recognized the necessity to have to change our business model, and he reacted quite quickly. And immediately we put up on our website, we put up a storefront. So now you can buy beer from our website, and you can come into the brewery during our business hours. We're open Monday through Sunday from 2 to 6. You can walk through the door and buy beer to go. You could order it online and do a curbside pickup. We have a wooden barrel out front that we put the beer on, and you can drive up here. We don't need to interact with you as much as we want.
It's a perfect height too, right? Perfect height.
Perfect. Grabbing a little 4-pack right off of there. And then we're also using the service called Carhop.
Carhop. Yeah. It's our first official sponsor of the virtual brewery tours. So Carhop is a locally owned and operated business where you can place an order at carhopme.com, including Brewery Extrava and about a dozen current other breweries, but they're building that list as they go. You order, and within a couple of hours, you'll have the beer delivered to your home, just like you would if it was food delivery or something else. And for people that are watching the virtual brewery tour, you can save 50% off your delivery fee by using code BrewBus. That's code BrewBus at checkout. So I know. So Carhop, it's for sure. So Carhop is it's kind of cool. That's a way for you don't have to think about driving around beer. They're taking care of it for you.
Yep, it's a great service. It just kind of popped up for us, and so there's a lot of ways you can buy beer. Plus, there's a lot of retailers right now still in business and open hours. So there's a lot of retailers around the Portland area, around the state actually, that carry our beer. So you can buy it in all the stores as well.
Nice.
Obviously, buy it from us. You're making a connection with us in a small way. You're supporting us in a different way. So we appreciate
for sure
out there. We appreciate everybody buying our beer and buying everybody else's beer too. So this is going to be a tough road for everyone. We're all going to stick together and make the best of it.
For sure. So we've got a couple of comments and a question here. Mr. Greg Klein, who is helping us behind the scenes, is producing the show at his home studio in Freeport, says the quad is delicious. He's absolutely right about that. Laguna Craft Beer says, hi. I see Mary Weber in here as well Mary's here watching you. And then we have a couple of questions. So this is a good one. I know you love this question. Our friends at the Growler Bus up in Bangor Brewery Tour Company, who have also suspended operations, they are asking you, how did you come up with the name of your brewery? It's very unique, and it's a good story.
It is. It's interesting. In Belgium, well, here in the States, it's such and such brewing company. Right? That's sort of the way everybody uses it. There's a few different ones, but everybody's something brewing company. And then in Belgium, they do it the opposite way. They actually use the word brewery first and then the name of the brewery. So knowing we were going to open a Belgian-style brewery, I thought, wow, why don't we use the word brewery as the first word of the name? And in fact, we are the first in the state of Maine. We're 149 and we're the first one to use that nomenclature. And then I also realized at the same time that the Belgian country code is B, and so I knew that the beer, it was going to be BE was going to be the name of the brewery, and the word B was going to be brewery. And I looked for an awful lot of words that start with E, and I really couldn't find anything that was any good, and so I just made up a word, really.
And I love to point out that the BE in the circle, which is part of your logo, I know this is reversed for everybody, but you can get the sense of it. So that's very reminiscent of what you might see in the back of a car. A Belgian car is kind of like those stickers that signify the countries of origin and so forth. And I think it's part of your DNA. You're trying to be a little bit different. You're not trying to be, the 149th New England IPA powerhouse here. You're trying to make beer and nuanced beer. So why is that important to you?
Exactly. Well, listen, I've been making so much beer over my lifetime. In fact, I brewed over 1 million gallons of beer in my life. And I've brewed all styles. I've brewed pale ales and IPAs and porters and stouts, and as I became more into brewing as a real technical science, for me, there's a lot of challenges presented by brewing Belgian style beers. The yeast is a different type of a yeast, different better for temperature control, and so it's those styles to me interest me more as a brewer who wants to have challenges in brewing, and also the results to me are amazing. The beers we're making here are truly extraordinary. They're not just, I don't want to say regular beer, but it's not regular beer. It's a little different, and it shows when you taste our beer. You'll get the beautiful yeast characters and those complexities of flavors, and you'll try our beer and you'll know right away that they're very well made beers.
Yeah, for sure. We're talking with Michael LaCharite, and I've said this a couple times. Is it LaCharite? Is it the proper pronunciation of your last name?
LaCharite.
LaCharite, and if we're in France, it'd be LaCharite, I imagine, but
LaCharite.
LaCharite. Okay, LaCharite. All right, a couple of other comments here. Michael's with Brewery Extrava in Portland, right down in East Bayside at 66 Cove Street. Our friends at LA Beer Cup say hi. Hung Holland 29 says, what beers are you planning for the summer? Are you planning on any sours? That's a good question.
That's a very good question. So we aren't going to do any sours, but we are coming out with a line of fruited saison. So we're going to be taking, and we've already been doing this a little bit in the brewery, testing it and everything. But basically, there'll be a variety of fruited saisons that are going to come out. We may do it a lot like the new Era IPA, where it's a rotating series. So it may be a rotating series saison thing, But we've tested a bunch of different fruits that we really like in our saison. We've got a lemon saison. We've got a blueberry saison, which we released back in the fall. People love, and also, we're playing around with some tropical fruits, and maybe I should look at some elderberries, because right now elderberry syrup is a really good oxidant that helps work this virus that's going around. So maybe that's might try as well.
Well, I want to talk about that, but first, do you remember the suggestion I gave you a couple of months ago? We're in Greg Correen's back porch, and I said, I really would like to see a fig and black pepper saison. So I didn't hear that in the list. I guess it didn't make the cut, huh?
Remember that. We should try to test that. Now, that was a pie that you bought. I guess,
right.
I'm better off acting like everybody else and making a pastry beer. I'll just take a bunch of pies and throw them.
Don't do that. And I think I said fig. I think it was plum and black pepper. It was very good. Yeah, you tend towards a food lifestyle that I believe you're definitely vegetarian, if not mostly vegan as well. Does your food lifestyle factor into how you're making your beer?
Absolutely. I'm what's called a whole food plant-based diet. It's sort of like vegan, but I don't want to use the word vegan.
Yep.
So there's certain things I cannot use here at the brewery that I don't use, and one of those that's a really popular ingredient these days is lactose. And so a lot of the fruited sours or some milkshake IPAs or pastry stouts or who knows what some of these names are that are coming out. A lot of these people are using lactose in the beer to create a sweetness that's not naturally in the beer. And I don't do that here. But we did just recently release a chocolate raspberry stout.
Right.
So I use techniques in the mash and in the brewing process that allows me to have a naturally residual sweetness from the malts that balance with the raspberry and the chocolate to make a beautiful beer. So we're not missing out by not using lactose here, I'll tell you.
That's a good question. That's a good point. I'm going to ask you to show us around the brew house a little bit. We've got a good look. You've set it up nicely. I know you're an audiophile and a person who appreciates design, so you set it up pretty well. But while you're getting that, we'll have you flip it around with the arrows and the camera as well. Couple of quick questions here. Any New Hampshire distribution at the moment?
No, not at the moment. No. We are looking at probably jumping over New Hampshire to another state south of that at some point.
Take no offense, New Hampshire. That happens a lot. New Hampshire is a fairly difficult one to get through the regulations and the process for distribution, so that makes sense. And then the next comment is from our friend Josh Blackadar from National Distributors. He says, "Hi, Don. Hi, Michael."
Hello.
Hello, Josh. Michael, what are we looking at here?
That's our kettle. That's our brew kettle. This one's the mash tun over here. And this is our whirlpool. What you're looking at is a 10-barrel brew house that we make our beer on right there. It's beautiful. I designed that myself, and we installed it working very wonderfully. Uh-oh. Something's
No, you're back.
Oh, okay.
You're back. We got you now.
Okay, good.
The video was good. We just lost audio there for a second.
So this is what's called, I just showed you the brew house.
Yep.
Now, this is our pilot system. This is a
Ooh, that looks fun.
This is the system that we brew all of our test batches on. All the small batch series that we do here is brewed on the 1-barrel pilot. And then this little fella right here is the 2-barrel fermenter. So this is the fermenter that goes with the pilot system. And then this is the cellar for the 10-barrel system. So we've got 10-barrel and 20-barrel fermenters and bright tanks here. There is here currently fermenting in this 10-barrel fermenter right here. And I'll give you a peek. I hope you get to see what that says there.
Well, that looks like it's a quad right there. Mm-hmm. Delicious.
Oh, boy, we got quad going. There's our keg washer, keg filler.
Yeah.
And these are our serving tanks. We have 5 10-barrel serving tanks. And this one's got saison. This one's got fat in it. This one's got some chocolate raspberry stout, and this one has the triple in it. So these are the serving tanks right here, and these serving tanks actually go through a very sophisticated system. I hope I don't give anybody a headache by showing all this. All this, everything goes over to these taps right here.
Right.
Design tap system. that allows us to pour these beers at higher pressures and higher temperatures than we would normally be able to do with regular tanks, regular draft system. So these are our other taps here. We have, just as of today, shut everything down, unfortunately, and clean the lines and all that good stuff. We're on pause right now, as you know.
Sure.
I'm going to walk you out to the tasting room. Oh, I should show you this. This is pretty interesting.
Go look at those. That's future beer right there, Michael. What are we looking at?
So two of those barrels have quad in it. One of them is a whiskey barrel. The other's a rum barrel. And then these other two have triple. And one of those is a Grand Marnier barrel. And the other is a apple brandy barrel.
Wow. So when the time is right, look for barrel-aged variants of those beers, the triple and the quad. That sounds great.
We got some fun things coming up. So we're in the tasting room now, and one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that everybody who has a seat in our tasting room can look out into the brewery. So this is a really brewery. And this is our serving station right here. This is what you're looking at when you walk in the brewery right here.
Yeah, it's super striking. There's so much wood. There's, I don't know, it's 8 or 9 different species of wood. There's some elements where you feel like you're in a barrel, and then it's also taking advantage of some of the characteristics that were there. The wood ceiling was already existing, so they were able to refinish that and provide a nice backdrop on the ceiling. And then the rough-hewn wood that is there, the natural edge and so forth, live edge. It's just a beautiful, comfortable tasting room to visit when the time is right.
We're going to be opening back up if we can. We've got all of our wares out right now. People can come in. You can go on the website and order hoodies and shirts and things like that.
Nice.
Summer's coming. Look at these beautiful T-shirts here. Won't you look nice?
Oh, yeah.
Clothes, huh? Right?
Absolutely.
We've got hats here, too. So you guys can order this stuff online.
Nice.
And
well, let's head back to where you started there. We've got a couple of questions that have come in, and I've got a couple of questions to finish up with here. If you want to look at their merchandise online, it's breweryextrava.com. That's EXTRAVA.com. As we mentioned before, they have curbside pickup that's available. Basically you're calling ahead, I imagine. Are you taking orders online ahead of time as well for beer?
Yeah, I'll order online.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you said that, but I've talked to a bunch of people the past couple days, so I want to make sure I got that right. And then gift cards are available, merchandise is available, and through Carhop, use promo code BREWBUS to save 50% off your delivery fee. Now, Brewery Extrava is not back opening it until Wednesday, so just make sure you... actually, I should ask that. Are your hours modified at all this week?
This week is Wednesday through Sunday, 2 to 6. Those are our
perfect
hours. Yeah.
Perfect.
To a second beer.
Ooh. Well, that is good. I didn't put it within reach. I was going to save that for later because I do have a 5 o'clock talk I have to do. But you go ahead and let's talk about that. You dropped me off a quad as well. So
this is our quad, or in Belgium it's a quadruple. Maybe you can see the color of this beer.
That's a great look, Michael. I like it. Chestnut, dark caramel, yeah.
Right? I don't know how well you can see that, but anyway, so this is a beautiful beer. In Belgium, this is known as the Grand Cru. So most of the breweries that make this style, the monasteries, refer to it as a Grand Cru, and the translation to that is the brewery's finest. And we don't call it a Grand Cru here, but it is certainly the brewery's finest. Cheers, Don.
Cheers, Michael. That's great. I look forward to enjoying that later when I'm not on air, I guess. A couple of other. Here's a question here. This seems like a plant, but I'll ask it anyway. This is from Burn Swen IPA 39. Michael, with your long history in the Maine brewing scene, ... How kick-ass is your assistant brewer?
I tell you what, I got the best guy, Ryan Fitch. Some people could know him as Fitchy. He's
sure
the best. I love him. We got a long history. I hired him day one here, and we have a great relationship. And he helps me in so many ways. And what's nice about I don't have to worry about this guy. Like, I trust him to do everything perfect, and he does it all the time. And if he's out there watching, Ryan, I love you, buddy.
We love you. Ryan also has done some work for the Maine Brew Bus as a driver, and people were very surprised to learn that the driver was a professional brewer with a lot of experience as well. So sounds great. Our friends at Union Kitchen say hi. Union Kitchen supply all of the baked goods that we serve on our tours. So those are vegetarian hand pie that are made with spinach, 3 cheeses, and a beautiful hand flaky crust, just handmade for us, and they're a really unique part of our tour. A little bit more substantial / healthy than just a straight pretzel. And so we've got just a couple more minutes here with Michael. So if you have any final questions or comments that you have, just put them in the comments section of your screen. And so the last question I really have, Michael, is how are you doing? I alluded to your girlfriend is in the healthcare field. You're in a fairly new business there with partners that have other business interests. How are you doing personally and emotionally, and how is your team doing around you?
Yeah, I have to attribute my stability to my belief systems. I have Native American blood in me, and it allows me to connect with nature in a way that just grounds me completely, no matter what the situations are. So, I'm at home doing projects. I'm listening to a lot of music. Music grounds me so much. I'm getting outside every day for walks. We live in the woods, so we can head out back.
Yeah.
I took a walk the other day. We were gone for almost 2 hours. And the waterfalls, we have waterfalls in our backyard. It's
wow,
crazy. And and I'm doing my qigong in the morning, and I'm meditating, and I'm doing things to keep myself well. And of course, we eat an amazing diet of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and stuff. And so we're doing our best to maintain healthy body, mind, and spirit. And I'm trying as I can to keep informed, but at the same time not burden me and create stress for me, even though that naturally would be what would happen watching the television these days. So,
sure.
And, you did mention Krista. She's a lovely woman. She's on the front line. She's an ER nurse. Yeah. She's on the front line. And she's doing her job, and hopefully things stabilize. Maine hasn't been hit hard yet. So
no.
Hopefully
no.
And things don't get really, really crazy. So yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. I appreciate you asking about it. I look forward to trying to communicate with people. I haven't really done much of that. This is my first little thing that I'm doing here.
Welcome.
The Brew Bus Tour, and I love this kind of thing. You know me, I like to talk about beer. You could create like a 4 or 5 hour show to keep you guys going the whole time.
Well, I got to be honest, this is part of the reason that we are doing this is to encourage our brewery partners to also develop new ways to communicate with their guests, because you're not able to meet with them face to face, and it might be some time. So if you are, if you're this goes for any company, really. If you're a company that is struggling with what to say, what to do, and it's easier to do nothing, this is not the time to do nothing. It's a better time to communicate and to share what you've got. You're going to do that in a different way. We talked yesterday about, if you have always said you'd like to foster a dog, but you never had the time, you probably do. If you wanted to pick up the piano again, you probably have time to do that. And find different ways and outlets. And if you're a business owner, it's the time to exactly communicate with your audience. You've got more audience than you ever would have, and it's a great time to get out there. So I encourage you, Michael, to also do that, to find a way to communicate with your fans that are out there.
Yeah, I'm going to do that, and I think one of the things that I want to do is to create a room. I don't know what you call it, a chat room or whatever. We're all in there at the same time, and we're drinking beer, and we're tasting. Yep. We're talking about beer. That's the one thing. It's one thing, you bring your tours in. I have 45 minutes with these people, But if we were in a chat room or a group and we had a bunch of beers and we just started drinking and tasting beers, and really get to know the ingredients, I think it's important. The more a person who loves beer knows about the ingredients and how beer is made, the more they're going to appreciate the different beers when they go around to try them, no matter what the styles are. I think that's what I want to do. Back to that education thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Educating people about the various ingredients and how beer's made and why the beer tastes like it does.
Yeah. That's great, Michael, and I really appreciate hearing that. This has been fantastic. I'm going to give you the last few moments here. Give us the best ways that our audience can support Brewery Extrava at this point in time. Sorry about that.
It's obvious. Buy our beer and support us. I'm sure there's people who are watching this program right now that are fans of our beer, and I thank you very much if you're supporting us already. If you've never tried a Brewery Extrava beer, I encourage you to come to the brewery or go to your retail outlet, buy our beer, try it. We make beautiful beer. There's a lot of different styles that we make. We have light and dark. We have low ABV and high ABV. We even now have an IPA that's got haze in it. Woo!
Amazing. Yeah.
I encourage you to give us a try and try a variety of things. Try our whole portfolio because there's a time and a place for everything. We popped open this lovely quad here just a minute ago, right? Oh, look at the color coming through nice.
Amazing.
And there's a place for this. It's usually not 4:00 in the afternoon, but, later in the evening or as you're having your, really just settling down, you want to have a beautiful beer that you just really get into and let warm up, the quad is the one. So we have a lot of different beers for everybody. We have a different beer, different flavors for everybody.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you want to support Brewery Extrava, the best way is to buy their beer. And if you're not in a position to buy their beer, go on. If you're listening in a different state, watching in a different state, go online, buy a gift card, buy some merchandise, or send your friends or family in to get some beer and try it out. The last thoughts we have here is that Viggy, who is a partner over at Bissell Brothers, says he got his yesterday. So he's got his beer ready to go. And I've got mine tonight with my quad. Michael.
Big fan of
Viggy's great. Yeah, well, a lot of people are fans of yours, my friend. So this has been fantastic. You've been watching the virtual brewery tour with Michael LaCharite. Sorry, I messed it up again. Of Brewery Extrava in Portland, Maine. BreweryExtrava.com. They're at 66 Cove Street with curbside pickup available by purchasing online. I'm Don from the Maine Brew Bus. This has been a virtual brewery tour. If you liked what you heard and what you saw, then we encourage you to throw a donation or throw a gratuity in our tip bucket. It's online at themainbrewbus.com. breweryextrava.com. You'll see virtual brewery tours, and you can select this time slot so you can throw your support in for what Michael has had to say and to show us. And it's never expected. It's always appreciated, and it's a good way for us to keep going. So with that, Michael, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Well done. And we'll see you again soon for beer in person.
Everybody in person who showed up here today to listen to me talk, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining in.
Sounds great. Thanks. We'll see you all soon. Cheers.